Recording in progress.
Good evening, everybody.
Yes, I just wanted to say it was.
Oh, she. And coffee to drop off.
She's going away.
She got stuck helping the voter. I mean, not stuck, but she's helping the voter. She may be here, may not.
Helping someone to go.
Okay. Anybody know if Dennis is gonna join us?
I heard his dog a few minutes
I
ago.
know the dogs are here. Okay, I'll call us to order. The September 27th minutes. Frank and Ron, I need you to make sure there aren't any changes or additions. We can make those changes and approve for. That's a little short one.
Cheryl won't straighten out.
Gotta hold out. So the bill,
Have you, Ron, Frank, have you looked over September 27th minutes? I know it was a while ago. Oh,
Know if anything's happened with the ramps as far as, any,
No.
no? Well, I don't mean happen to them.
Nothing's happened. I mean,
Yeah.
to them.
Dennis coming?
I don't know.
he's here.
Yeah, he's good.
All eyes are on you. Just so you know.
Yeah.
All right, Ron, Frank, see any changes or additions or typos or anything? That's good.
I did something different. Or more.
All right, great, so motion to approve, Frank?
No.
Okay, one and second. And all in favor of passing these minutes on September 27th? Great. Okay. Moving on to the minutes from October 11th. We're all here. And I think I sent you a copy too. I don't know if I had all the marine information accurate. And we were
Well,
talking about that submerged vehicle.
We don't have the minutes.
Oh, we don't have,
You don't have the minutes?
No, you gave us agendas.
I'm sorry.
I don't need them. I have no information on that. I'm just waiting to get back from John Knoll that if we got the grant or not, or if they got. the
Okay,
grant.
so all I did was copy and paste from what you sent me.
Yeah,
Okay,
so I'm still waiting to hear back from him. I haven't heard anything. I'm not sure what the process is.
okay,
All I know is it was submitted.
okay.
And the cameras,
We're skipping ahead. She's talking minutes.
oh,
Yeah, we're still in minutes. There was a sailboat, the sailboat issue, the same thing.
CWC pulled it out last week. It's in storage up to Floatworks. So I'm expecting a bill from Floatworks for the storage, which was $300 and something. And that goes until May of next year. So we're all good there. And then I'm waiting for a bill from CWC. I have no idea what that is. So the boat is out of the water.
Is that the one that was on the town line?
Yes.
It was full of water and he got
Or it was
pumped,
fine,
right?
yep.
We never pumped it,
He didn't need to.
no.
Okay.
So he was charged, I charged him with abandonment of a watercraft.
Mhm.
I haven't submitted anything to the DA's office yet because I'm still waiting for the bills, so his court date's tomorrow. So when he shows up for his court date tomorrow, I'm gonna re-summons it for the end of January. But, I have to expect him not to show up tomorrow. So,
But for the winter, it's been pulled out and it's in storage, right? And you're
Yeah.
gonna send the guy a bill.
well, I think the town is probably looking at a bill of, I'm thinking close to $1,000. For everything. I would hope that the court would order him restitution to pay that back, but with the court system the way it is, I don't have any high hopes to that. But I guess we're better off getting it out of the water than having it sink, so.
Okay.
The minutes,
Yes, sir.
Virginia's builder is Rob instead of Bob,
You,
way down the bottom.
yes, thank you. Thank you.
Had I tried.
Great. Motion to approve. Thank you. Second, Dave.
He'd like to borrow your pen, the pen in your hand.
We'll speak clearly.
And loudly.
Glenn, do you see any changes or anything in the October 11th minutes that we need to make any changes?
No, go ahead and keep it, see if you have to use it again.
Do you see any changes that need to be made, Ron?
Yes, I know.
Oh, no, that, okay. All right, all in favor? Okay, so back to the harbor master. Report,
I
cameras. What do you know about the cameras?
don't know anything. Dwayne knows everything about the cameras. All I know is they're in place. I think they're a little low,
Okay,
but I have no
so maybe they
control.
can be adjusted.
No, I think they're just low on the pole.
Right, like physically, like,
I thought they would have been a little bit higher than what they are. I don't know, Don, did you see them? Yeah, I thought they would have been a little bit higher, but, it is what it is, they're there, so. They have two more I know to put in of the building facing the rec pier. As far as viewing them, I have no idea. I was told that there was gonna be a monitor in our office. So that they would just be playing nonstop, we could watch it, but, I heard rumor that that's not gonna happen, that we're gonna have a login. So as far as who has logins, whatnot, I have no control of that, I have no idea. I don't think it would be a bad thing for anybody. You know how like they do the live webcams, you can log into a webcam and see what's going on. That would be kind of cool if anybody in town
Just
wanted
put
to
it on
log in.
on our webpage or
Yeah,
something.
that would be
So
kind of cool.
anybody could look, because you
You know,
never know what someone might see once
Yeah,
nobody else is looking, you know?
Yeah.
Okay, would,
Which pier are those?
they're down on the waterfront.
so one of them I know faces the launch ramps, the other
Yeah.
one looks like it was over towards the rec pier. I just
Um,
caught a glimpse of it, that's what led to my.
one of them looks like it's facing up Water Street. There's three cameras there. One looks like it's facing up Water Street. One of them looks like it's facing towards a commercial pier, and one of them's facing towards a boat ramp.
Mhm.
So the other two cameras are going on the building, and I assume they're gonna face the pier. But like I said, I have that's Dwayne's thing, so.
Okay, I'm sorry, for whatever reason, I'm just thinking you'd be aware of that.
No, I don't got no information on
Okay. It's wonderful.
that. The submerged vessel thing, I've already talked about that.
Okay, back to, yeah, thank you. Back to the cameras, committee, what do you think about having, like, public access, if we could suggest it going forward, have it put on the webpage or something so people can, like, live webcam, if it's possible? What do you think? Is it that important?
I think that's probably,
I thought it was kind of.
I think that's probably a conversation to have with Dwayne before you even talk about it,
Well, I didn't,
so.
I think it's more important to have a monitor in your office, so Kelly can be watching it.
Plus, I mean,
And
I,
have us have access to it.
no, I just thought for,
You know,
you know,
I mean, that's.
of
the whole
course, I
reason-
think that's what's gonna happen.
Yeah, that's the whole reason why we put cameras in, was to help with the abuse of the lawn trams.
maybe invite Dwayne to the next meeting to talk about the cameras.
Yeah. It's kind of control. Especially when you're a master, you should be involved in everything going on down there. Just one person saying.
Okay, we can do that. But for some reason, I guess I thought you'd know by now. Apparently, I just was in the right place at the right time.
I think they've been a long time coming.
The cameras, oh, yeah. Okay, do you know anything about any lunch retailers?
Dennis hasn't shared anything with me, so
Okay,
last I knew he was sending out for estimates, right, folks? I just know what you guys know, what he said at the last meeting.
mhm. Okay. I want to scoot in and just see if Dennis plans on joining us.
You want to interrupt
Do you mind,
Dennis?
Is he in the middle of something?
I have no idea.
Do you mind, Carol? Thank you.
I know he sighs pretty hard when I walk in there. So I try not to walk in there much.
Well, that's, I gotta stay up here. All right, so we'll move on for a second. So I talked to Pat Cloutier at the chamber about doing a chamber chat, and she thought 4 people max to be interviewed from our group as far as talking about the purpose of this working group going forward and you know, what we're trying to accomplish. So the dates, she said anytime in the morning, December 6th, 7th, or 8th. I think that's a Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday.
Maybe in a few minutes, I'll probably send in.
So I didn't know if you.
I know some people's mentioned me doing it. I don't,
What do you want? What's happening?
the
chamber
chamber
chat.
chat, but I don't know that I really have a clue what's going on, so I don't know that I'm a good candidate to talk about it. I don't know what,
Well, we're trying to write this working group to work on waterfront issues and growth and going forward. Priorities, things like that, well, things going on down there. And I think you're a great candidate because you know what's going on down there, and you're down there paying attention. I don't know if you want to be part of the interview.
no, I mean, I'll do it. I mean,
I
I
know
just
Pat will be
answer
asking
questions.
questions. We've got a month to come up with answers.
Who else is gonna do it with me? Callie?
No, she is not.
Truthfully, I thought Kelly.
No, she is not going to do it.
I don't, like I said, I don't mind doing
It's
it. I don't really know that I know everything that you're looking for.
No, well, I don't think any of us
I don't
do. I think that's part of forming, you know, wanting to form the school
To get a direction for the waterfront?
and work on the plan moving forward. It's like we have all these things floating around out there and remember, even you said, and they just don't seem to go to
Well,
the
I
next
said
step.
that multiple
So
times.
it needs to be
Yeah.
funneled into the right direction, find its way.
I'll do it, but don't get mad if I say something off the cuff.
I think you'll be fine. I was kind of thinking, what you all think, Dennis, Chief.
I don't know that
One of
Dennis
us.
is gonna wanna do it.
Or we wouldn't even have time.
No?
Yeah. I don't know that Dennis is gonna wanna be bothered with it. I mean, he's right out straight.
I can't really consciously think about it, I really don't. I'm not supporting it, but I'm not supporting it either. I just think it's gonna be a waste of time. I don't know. I would love if we could get some of our stuff done. I agree with what you're trying to do. It's just, we've been.
Well, I think I've been saying, I think I've been saying for the past,
From 2013, and the guy's right on the money. Nothing's changed since 2013, we've been talking about it 10 years,
Mhm.
and nothing has changed. He finally moved out of town.
talk about what?
About the waterfront, how nothing's changed when we talk about it.
Well, I think I've said it multiple times that we seem to talk in circles and nothing gets
Well,
done.
that's, I
That's,
think part of the
but I
point
don't-
of this group to have direction.
But the issue is, I don't know that anybody in this group can make a final decision because you can't, right?
No,
right,
No, we
nobody
just-
in this group,
Yes.
other than yourself as a taskmaster, talking to Dennis is the only way we're ever gonna get anything done. We have no authority at all.
No, we just advise,
committee,
but
we
then
advise.
it goes to the next step, and sometimes that's where it gets stuck, but I'll tell you,
Right.
more has happened here in a year, even with COVID, than has happened in probably 10
But
years.
see, our town manager is supportive of the waterfront, and that has helped immensely. That's why I was getting shut down. You know, it's just, we gotta just kind of keep pushing stuff through.
So the purpose of this chamber chat is to recruit people
Or just
for this
share,
committee? What is it?
share what the point of the subcommittee is. And the purpose.
Tell me what those points are before the chamber chat. Stop there.
So wasn't that part of, the press release?
I agree, I don't know what we're trying to accomplish. I know.
I think a
what the
lot has
big picture
happened.
is.
I think a lot has happened recently, when, you guys talked about doing it right the first time, we talked about,
Right,
we talked about
Concrete
concrete repairs, we talked about the compost station. I think things are moving forward, but I'm almost thinking that the repairs to the ramp are starting to slow down a little bit,
Well,
yeah,
see, that's, I mean.
and we don't want that to happen.
no. See, and we as committee members don't have any push to get public works or whoever's involved in fixing the ramps. Fix ramps without money for the public works so they can use it. I don't know how to go about it. It's just
Yeah.
really frustrating to keep talking about it and then nothing happens. Ever happens.
I think things go from us to support, like the board of selectmen, or to the town manager, and then with the board of selectmen's, approval.
I guess we just
And
need to
then-
make
and then the
sure,
town manager, he's only one person.
but how many committee members are you looking for? Subcommittee members?
Another-
I just want to make sure we don't have like 4 more frustrated people.
I think we're kind of hopeful that the subcommittee will be like more worker bees that can go out and actually, go check, if we're gonna do a launch ramp kind of thing like Bath has, find out those details, just saying, I'm pulling things out of the air. Like Don's gone around and done some research, and
Ron does a lot of research
he does a lot of
and
research,
provides a lot of information, and
which is awesome.
sometimes it feels like for nothing, right now. It doesn't get,
I said I wasn't gonna talk at this meeting.
we did buy the boat we recommended.
It gets frustrating, as that article pointed out,
Oh, huge.
and I think there was probably a lot of reasons behind it.
I didn't see that article. Can I see that? I only see what Kelly sends me.
It was in
Yeah, I
last-
try to only send you positive
It
things.
was in last week.
Oh, it's a negative thing?
Pretty close.
Not negative.
So what was it,
A letter to the editor in last week's Wisconsin paper.
from 2013, or?
No, last week's paper.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's a
Yeah,
letter reprinted from
No.
2000.
He references.
You want me to read it out loud?
Sure.
Why don't you?
I don't know that I really like reading out loud.
It's too late, you already volunteered it.
Dear editor, I read with interest the article about wanting volunteers to look into ways of improving the waterfront in Wiscasset. We lived in Wiscasset for 9 years back in 2013. And remember well, the same thing being discussed then. It has been, I'm sure, before we moved there. The thing I find most interesting is the talk is still the same. Lots of talk, no action. An engineering study was done years ago to improve the water treatment plant area and turn it into transportation hub, providing bus service and real train station instead of loading pallets. Much needed additional parking. Nothing was ever done while we were there. Plans were made to install a walking trail from Chewonki all the way into the harbor area in Wiscasset. That didn't happen either. We joined the newly formed Chamber of Commerce in hopes that it would start to make some needed improvements in the town. From what I've seen, limited steps have been taken. While we were there, it seemed the town wanted the chamber to do what the town wanted instead of the chamber suggesting to the town that it should, what it should do. That it should do certain things to improve the image. Unfortunately, we gave up and we left. We saw too many new businesses come and go because of the lack of support from the town during that time. We wished it would have been different. We had a wonderful property and missed that. While many river towns have taken advantage of the fact that they had a waterfront, Wiscasset seems to be stuck in the same stuck in the mud image it has a history of showing. It's just a shame that Wiscasset will always be a pass-through town and not a destination town. Too bad. Frank Breisel, Lancaster, Pennsylvania.
That's true to a point in the past. But the difference now, I think, is if he was gonna be here and saw what was going on since our new town manager status, we've got somebody now who is in support of the waterfront, which has never happened in the past, ever. It's always been, you know, a black eye down there. Well, now we've got somebody who's trying to get stuff done, and that's a good thing. I think if he came in, he'd see a difference.
Yeah.
Just one person.
I think leadership's changed for the better, definitely. And it's time.
I was tempted to respond to that, but I decided it probably would be in my own best interest if I didn't.
Do you have any interest in sitting on the chamber chat?
For what? For the waterfront?
So yeah, about this waterfront working group, I asked that through here, if we could do a chamber chat.
Sure.
Just because it'll go on LCTV,
Mhm.
and then people will know, look at, we're trying to do something, you guys, you know? And
So that's a yes.
we need,
Sure.
would you sit on it?
So we got two. How many you
Okay.
want?
So I recruited Larry.
There's three, odd number, that's what we need.
Okay, I don't need to. I mean, if someone else
Oh,
wants to.
Oh, I think you should be, Jim.
I think you've been nominated.
Okay.
So I know Chief Warlick is trying to set up a chief's meeting the first or second week of December. So I'll try to find that date before you confirm a date with the chamber chat.
Great,
For the chamber chat.
thank you. Okay. Thank you.
Do you want to backtrack to the launch record case that Dennis has updates?
Yeah.
What do we?
The ramp,
Do you need
the waterfront ramp. Any updates on,
On, yeah, probably. 'Cause I
remember the
didn't look at it.
repairs we talked about?
No, I haven't, there's nothing new to report on that. I will tell you that the pump has been ordered for the pump out, so that part has been taken care of, so moving ahead with that and getting that done. Thanks. With Dawn's help to get that, so. Installation probably won't be till spring, but that's fine anyways. And Ted has had the electrician down there to scope out what needs to be done. Get that done, so we're moving ahead with that.
You know when the electrical will be installed?
No, I don't have it, we don't have a date yet.
Who's the electrician? Is that?
Is it going to be this year?
Yeah, I think so.
If we could have that ready for the Gina, right?
That was the plan.
Right,
Everybody's pretty busy, so it's,
right.
One thing, if we could back up, one thing I just want to mention, I had Marine Patrol reach out to me. They were asking about, you've seen their boat, the Protector.
Yeah,
They asked about, right now, it's on a mooring in Brunswick,
Maybe.
I think.
Sure.
And they wanted it, they asked about a mooring in Wiscasset, which I didn't see a problem with, but then they meant to say they wanted it on the float. I don't think we have float space for it, but in the meantime, they ended up taking it to free float. But they asked if in the future, if we could provide a spot for Marine Patrol to have a boat right here. And if so, how much it would cost them to do that. But I don't, honestly, it's a 29-foot boat.
Yeah.
But honestly, I I don't see where we'd have room for it all the time.
Do we ever use all our town warrants? All three?
Yeah, a couple times we have this year. I had all three running a couple, remember, well, that one guy got pissed because the lobster buoy was in the way.
Okay.
But I think he wants float, he wants to be
Oh,
on.
we want both, so they
Yeah.
come right in with a track and jump on.
Yeah. But just down the road, I mean, if I thought about offering the space where my boat is, but I don't think a 29-foot boat would fit there. They probably would if the front hung out.
That would fit on the other side though, right where PJ is now.
Well, see, that's the thing,
Jerry.
but that's the thing though, because we have the lobstermen that pay extra to be there. I don't want to tell them they can't be there.
Right.
Would it be year round or just for the winter?
I think year round.
So he wants dock space year round.
That would be perfect spot for it, right?
Just,
where those
just
guys
so
are.
if they have an issue, they can just come, drive, like you said,
Yeah.
drive here and jump in the boat. and
Yeah,
go.
exactly.
You said
I mean, I don't-
DMI?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think it would be a bad thing to have them in the harbor,
No, that'd be a good thing.
but again, I just want, I told him I'd mention it to you guys, he asked him.
I believe it's, yeah, I believe it's not dock space, but for lobster boats, along with that boat. I
Are you
mean,
talking on the rec fee?
no,
In general, on the pier.
no, right where
The commercial, the.
commercial pier, right to the right of it, not way out by where the lobster boats,
But if the two lobster, who are the two lobster boats that, on that?
Terry and PJ.
So if we tell them they can't park there because we're putting
We're
Rintrel there,
on the records, and there's plenty of boats around.
well,
I mean,
there
we
is
can
until,
rent DMI.
there is until the Virginia gets on there, then we're screwed.
When is the Virginia coming? When is it scheduled to be here?
The 9th of December.
So I don't think it's gonna happen this year, but just maybe something in the future.
That'd be a great idea. have
I mean,
them-
I don't know what they're willing to pay, I don't know what, you know what I mean, but.
Hey, it's income for the town. Let's make those dogs pay for themselves.
Well, even if you had to add on a little.
I know it'd be more than $100 a piece for lobstermen, so.
What we're charging Virginia is $80 a foot.
$80 a foot
Period.
for the season.
Well,
Sure.
actually, they're only gonna be here for half a season. So that. $80 a foot, times 50 feet is $4,000. For half a season is $2,000. And I wanted to know from you, sir, Mr. Dennis, how you wanted that to be paid to the town.
Up
I
front.
wanted to be paid monthly in four payments. Of $500 a piece.
Probably preferable if they pay all up front.
It would be easier, then you don't have to bill them and.
Then we're not chasing and billing and.
All right, I will inform them that we wanted it.
Are they still paying for the electrical? Somewhere? They're still
Yes.
buying that
Well-
kiosk thing, whatever it is.
What we were expecting was that the electrical would be installed for the pump out, plus a pedestal. And then a pedestal for the Virginia at 15 amp further down the dock.
That was planned, yeah.
I talked to Ted a month or so ago, and he said that's what it will be.
That's what he met with them a week ago Friday down there to go over all
And Virginia's coming the 9th of December. They will pay for the electrical addition from the pump out station to the end. I only see Jody's boat at the end of the pier right now.
I know.
At the float where Virginia would be tying up.
The Virginia wants to be on that end.
They want to go the extreme end. So,
So,
because what we'll do is, we'll put it as far forward as possible to reduce the space it takes on the float, and we'll run 2 anchors out. And that'll secure it. And plus using that dolphin for lines, and should be very well secured, same as the Providence was back in 19.
And there's plenty of room for Jody.
It'd be just a matter of Joey moving forward, because
Yeah.
he's the only one on the floats, as far as I know.
Don't they come out in December?
I'm sorry?
Won't they come out in December?
Yeah, Shed said they're not coming out this year.
But the lobster boat, okay, so.
Oh, the lobster, the floats are not coming out this year. That's why the Virginia
How long do the
one
logs stay out?
Gotcha.
Make those forever, right?
Okay.
I don't, how long do the logs boats stay out for that $100?
It depends on if they're still catching
Yeah.
lobsters. And the
No,
wells-
I mean, how long do we, when they pay the extra $100, they, on October 1st, they can come on the float. How long does that go?
They can go to April, can't they?
It was usually just till December 1st, or we talked about the 15th of December also. But there was no set end date, to speak of. Nothing was ever confirmed. That's what they normally,
I just
don't
assumed.
get
it
any
was
lobsters
for the
past the
winter.
1st in the river here, so that's why they. that's why they go up. But that's-
You hit a vote? You got a vote, is that the community center?
But you don't.
Goes to here. Well, maybe that's something you guys can
Yeah.
hammer out when you do your policies over the winter, set that date on that.
Right.
Because it seems cheap to me to allow them to, for $100
Yeah.
to stay for 9 months.
Right.
They won't say that, but
No, they want,
No,
we
but
usually pull them to do maintenance and stuff like that.
they can go on beyond December 1st if the weather's good and they're still catching lobsters.
If they're still catching lobsters.
And
So we
that's,
never set an end date.
and that's a
That was-
crapshoot, there's no way of knowing how that's gonna.
Right.
Right, but say, what if Ted needs to pull floats or whatever? I mean, we should have an end date, so he knows when he can start.
Well, that's why the end date was December 1st,
Right.
Correct, yeah.
because that's when Ted said he would pull floats.
Right.
If he needs to.
I know he's gonna do some work to the ramp, the rec ramp going down.
Great. So I just have a quick question about the electric. Is there gonna be 2 pedestals down there? One for the Virginia and then one for the pump out? Is that,
That's what I thought Dennis just said.
Well, there's gonna be the main box that comes down to the main box that the pump.
At the
will be
line
pumping,
here, right?
yes.
yeah?
And that'll have a disconnect on it, and there'll be another line run over to,
Okay, so it's not necessarily a pedestal. It's just a set of line. It's like an
I
outlet.
think it is. When I talked to Ted, I thought that's what he was telling me.
Okay,
But I wasn't at this meeting, so, when I talked to him a month or so ago, telling him that the Virginia was coming and we'd like to pay for a pedestal. And what amperage, he says they're all 50 amp now. He said we'll be having one pedestal in. And this will be the second one that you guys can pay for, and he was gonna talk to you about how to pay for that.
yeah,
He would pay Frank.
we already
pay
figured that
you.
out. It's just coming, it's just gonna come right out of the waterfront budget.
Yeah.
I mean, it will generate revenue for the town back anyways. So it would just be an expense out of the waterfront budget, and we carry over extra money this year to help pay for some of the stuff.
Right, well, whatever the amount is, so. I'll tell Virginia what it is and they can pay for it.
Yeah.
You don't have to be formal about billing if you don't want.
so you can just give him like a set bill for electric use. Okay, so was that some interest in the?
You have 5 applicants there.
Great. How's that work?
This is up to you. This is your subcommittee. You can do this however you want to do it.
But how did it work to kind of go through online and?
Oh, it works fine.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's simple process.
Okay. Thanks. So great that it's our subcommittee. I just feel like we need we've never done this before. So I could use a little guidance as far as what to.
I would actually schedule like a little short interview process with everybody and have them come in and introduce themselves and explain what their background is and why they want to do this.
Would it be part of a meeting?
However you guys want to do it, yeah.
So do we need to come up with some interview
It
questions?
would be helpful if you do it ahead of time.
Mhm.
Just a suggestion, I mean,
Yeah, no,
You came up with a list of duties for them. Did you know?
it was more like ideas, I think. And what's part of the, like, is there interest that went into the,
Yeah, but I mean, you explained it in quite a bit of detail that would tell them what they expect, what is expected of them.
Who runs this place?
I will have to go home and look, because I don't recall, I remember thinking about it. So I know that they'll report to us.
I recall it was in pretty decent detail explaining what was expected of any members that go.
Right, I think you have to follow certain committee, the same rules that all the committee members have to follow in town.
No, but their duties. What's expected.
I feel like we have, I think we need to figure out what people's interest and skill is, and then.
it's nice to know what their background is and what you're
Right,
gonna be
right,
able to draw on for their particular skill set.
Mhm.
What did they submit, like an application or just like a letter of interest?
It was just an application. It just briefly just describes what they've done in the past. I know, we're gonna go. I know.
I have a question, Dennis, do they have to be residents or taxpayers of this castle?
I think they should be,
Mhm.
doesn't necessarily mean they have to be. I mean, if you have somebody that's not, but they have a skill set or a knowledge base that would be useful to you, I don't know why they would have to be.
Well, I'm thinking of.
I think I would concern it around somebody that might want to use the waterfront
Mhm.
as opposed to somebody from Bangor that just wants to.
I know.
Know what state do they have in this?
Well, I'm just thinking if they have a skill set, like say, know about various grant opportunities or. You know, they may be from.
I don't think
Bangor,
there's
grew up
anybody,
here or
I don't think
something.
there's anybody there that's out of town. but-
Yeah,
That would be a good.
But I would limit it to probably just one member that's not a
Okay.
resident, but, you know, has an interest in using the waterfront. Maybe somebody from Alma wants to put a boat in out here for the summer.
well, or there's even business owners that may not live in town, but they're here.
But they're still a stakeholder in what happens.
Well, that's what I kind of think, you know, like the.
I think the biggest use of the waterfront, like the boat ramp,
Mhm.
is, I didn't realize it until I was harbor master, how much that boat ramp, how much people all around, I mean, people from Boothbay drive the boat up here to get it pulled out.
Yeah.
CWC is, I mean,
Well,
yeah.
I think that's partly because it doesn't cost them anything.
They were taking such a beating on the ramps because of it.
You know,
And there's no, that's where the cameras are supposed to help us.
Yeah, and the taxpayers are.
And it does
footing
no
the bill
good
for
if
that.
you guys don't have a monitor in your office that is rolling all the time, that you guys can record these. Maybe send a bill out or an inquiry, or, you know, hopefully that'll.
Well, we got no reason to send a bill out yet, I think, because they can use it.
Well, we gotta figure out who's using it and when and how often,
Right.
and then figure out a fee schedule as to what we're gonna charge for
Right.
use of that. Commercial versus non-commercial, probably resident versus non-resident.
Right.
Or something like
I,
that.
I would
Again, that
say,
could be your-
who's the boat guy? Is it the boat guy up by Market 27? Is it Gallagher? No, no, is it Gallagher?
No,
Is it Mike Gillespie?
Gillespie,
Last
Gillespie.
week.
He came in because he pulls a lot of boats and stores a lot of boats. And he's come in a few times because people will come up, they'll come up on Friday, drop their boat at the float, and I'll put a bill on it, and it'll be there for 3 days before he gets down there to pick it up. So now they're getting whacked, you know, $90 to be there. Well, he's been in twice because he feels like he needs to pay that. And he wanted to know if we could come up, like his business could come up with like a day use fee or something.
Well, I think it was like annual, yeah. like a-
He just wanted to be able to pay it. So
Like a permit for him to.
like a commercial.
he wanted to pay an annual fee so that he could have his clients come into Wiscasset and he can do the work on the thing or whatever and not charge them. But I don't know how you come up with a,
Well, he's talking two different things. He's talking using of the ramp. He's also talking storage on the dock until he can get down to use the ramp.
yeah, well, he wants,
So it's two different things, really.
he wants an annual fee for both.
Well, and also part of what he talked about is if he's working on a boat where he just needs to like replace a part, but doesn't necessarily need to pull the boat out,
Right.
saying, you know, the boat has to sit there for a day or two until he can get that part, and then he can test it and, you know.
The center
take it
ramp
from
between
there.
the ramps is, that center pole between the ramps is perfect for that. But, you know, that's in pretty tough shape right now.
Well, and the other issue we have too is, like that boat that was down there with the sailboat. You know, he hit the ledges out there and said, asked if he could be there, and he was there, what, 8 weeks? He was there for a long time. But anyway, that's,
Everything, all the ideas that you're talking about are great ideas, and they've been around this board for quite a few years. I think this winter, you're gonna have an aggressive effort to try to put some of this together on paper, so that you've got rules and regs that you can enforce and actually collect on. This is the type of thing that is right for that. As you've seen before, an awful lot of towns, if you use the docks for up to 4 hours, it's X number of dollars. If you use it for 8 hours, it's X number of dollars. If you use it more than 8 hours, you pay for the day. So that if you set up a time schedule like that, then you'll find that the revenue stream will pick up tremendously. And you're offering that. The fact that a hauler wants to do maintenance of the boat, that's two separate issues. And all of the ramps that I've looked at, I don't know where anybody got a blanket house for the summer. Because they take advantage of it. It's generally charged per haul. And that way the hauler can build that into his fee.
Yeah, I mean, this CWC, all these haulers, they're killing us.
They love that in season pass.
They're killing us on this. I mean, we can do that for them.
Well, I see it, I think it is wide open to diffuse.
Well, a lot of them come here also because the other towns charge.
Well, that would be a good
Exactly.
thing to pursue, is to find out what other towns do with these haulers.
I think I gave you a list of that. didn't
I just got the fees for other towns,
Yeah.
but not from a haulers. These are just launch fees.
I? Yeah, no, that had commercial hauling rates on it too.
It did have a commercial.
And
Okay, thank you. Do you have a comment a little bit ago?
I'm sorry?
Did you have a comment or something?
No.
No, okay.
Did you apply to be on the committee?
Yeah,
Oh, you
it's
did?
the first one. Thank you, Don. Okay, so moving forward, we've got chores to do over the winter, like at least looking at the fees, reviewing commercial fees for the commercial pier and the $100, you know, for the off-season renting, things like that. Reviewing what we're doing with the Main Street pier. So, I'm wondering how you all feel about, I know the holidays are coming, maybe meeting bi-weekly to try to move some of this stuff forward quickly. Because a lot of the stuff we already know, we just have to pull it all together. Maybe not the fees for launching, because that's sort of
what is the stuff you
things, well, because now we have online mooring, and we haven't really looked at reviewing the commercial mooring, use of the commercial pier rates. So that, finishing the pier policy, for Main Street and the rec pier. So are you, anybody in favor of meeting bi-weekly, or do you want to stick with monthly? It just seems like monthly stuff sort of.
Bi-weekly, you mean twice a week?
No.
Or bi-monthly, you mean?
Bi-monthly, yeah,
Okay.
thank you.
I was gonna say, wow, bi-weekly, I'm gonna say.
Okay, bi-weekly.
Yeah.
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 One week is
So
every
what
2
do you
weeks.
think? So that'd be every other week, like on the stuff.
Does it?
Okay, yes, okay.
I know when I get paid bi-weekly, it's every 2 weeks.
Great.
So I just thought you guys would like to know that because, you know, we have a harbor master that's actually paying attention to what goes on down there, you've already collected 260% of your docking fees for this year. So, you know, if you're looking at fees for using the ramps and whatnot, you're gonna see this revenue start ticking up pretty well here. Especially if we have somebody that's paying attention to it. Between him and with the cameras, Callie, you know, we're ahead of the revenue this year. We're at 43%, and we're only at 33% of our budget year. So
I would just,
you know, we can increase this. You know, you can increase the revenue quite a bit without really investing a whole lot in it. Just charging, you know, charging
Just
some of the
collecting
fees.
what we're doing.
And having people that are using it and beating it up pay for it as opposed to the
Right.
taxpayers, which is certainly gonna help you in the long run when you wanna start expanding and charging off on more stuff, and we can show that here it is.
I'm expecting some kickback after the first of the year though. And I don't know,
Kickback.
kickback, because isn't it $3 a foot, no minimum?
Oh, I thought you meant like someone was gonna give you money.
Oh, I
Kickback.
wish, I'd take it all.
I know you would. Yeah,
Well,
when-
like
because we
people right
increased our
now
fee,
that
they're
have
gonna
a 30-foot boat, for instance, that like to tie it up to the rec float, now they cost them $30. After January 1, it's gonna cost them $90 a night to tie that up. And I don't know if we've thought that all the way through. That's a lot of money to me.
get- You're the one who suggested that to me.
I know I suggested it, but I'm wondering if it was a bad thing. But $90 a night for somebody to tie up a 30-foot boat for the night?
So
is
I
that a lot of money?
think the key thing to remember is that it's the harbor master's discretion,
Yeah, but that's a big thing. though,
but you
'cause
don't wanna like
If
charge.
somebody I
one
don't
person
like
an
comes down, I
extra
charge them 90, and
Yeah.
that could create some issues. But I don't mind having discretion. But maybe it should be, maybe we can work something where if they're a resident and a taxpayer, it's this price. If you're a non-resident, it's this price.
Or what about?
But maybe we
off-season?
should have thought about that before we did it. But
mean,
I just think $90 a night for a boat to tie up is a lot of money. If I'm not a millionaire with a 60-foot yacht that I want to tie up.
Right, but can't they go out on a mooring for the same $30
No, it's
No.
$3 a foot, right?
on a mooring too? I thought there was a
I
cap.
don't remember. I don't have the fee schedule in front of me, I'm sorry.
I think it's, we went up on our fees.
I
And,
know we went up.
and I don't know if we put enough thought into it. We just did it. And the select board went with our recommendation, which is what we wanted. But I think $90 a night to tie up is a lot of money. But I don't know how we got to that. We got to that because that's what other people are charging,
well, we
right?
got to that because of our research we did.
Because that's what other
Yeah.
people are charging.
Once again, I think I've explained before that if you got services to offer, then you can justify the expense. I think if the electricity is there, you're charging separate for the electricity. But if you have showers, and you have laundry, and you have decent bathroom facilities, that's worth the $3 level, or $3.50 even level. And if you don't have that, then really all you're offering is a dock to tie up to. Maybe that should be scaled back to the $1.50 range per foot. And I think you'll find if you look at that comparative analysis that I did for everybody's of the coastline, you'll find that falls in there somewhere, anywhere from $1 to $3.50, $4. I've seen $5 and $6 out there. But once again, it's what the amenities are that you offer.
Right.
I think the reason for that was we anticipated having the float put in, all the slips. And part of that whole project, 375,000, was to put showers, laundry, and have all the facilities that would warrant that $3 a foot.
Yeah.
The
That's what I'm saying then.
the town voted against that, so.
Right, whereas you don't have them now, maybe it's time to review prices.
Exactly.
Aaron,
Okay,
anything else you need from me before I go?
did we ask you about chamber chat? Yes, we did.
Yes.
We just
Yeah,
gotta
just
come up
let
with
me know
our
what-
purpose.
just- Yeah, let me know what the date is.
Can we
Okay, promise.
look through the applications?
Yes, they're yours. Do what you will with them.
Dennis, I apologize for you getting sucked into that computer, internet, email. We didn't
No
attach you
kidding.
to that, Kristen. So
I have a quick question, Dennis.
Sure.
On the fees that we're looking at for haulers, the haul rental, should we do it in a way to encourage that or to discourage the use of the ramps?
Well, we're gonna rebuild them.
I think
We'd
we
like
want,
to see
I
somebody.
think we want to
I
encourage
mean,
it.
we could keep them.
You wanna encourage use of the waterfront. I don't think
We
we
could
should
keep them
discourage it.
fairly low so as not to discourage the use of them, or we could put them high enough so that they decide they might wanna go
So
somewhere
I don't
else.
think we wanna drive people off. I don't know that I want, I think you maybe should look at two, one for commercial and one for
Right.
Right,
individuals. And maybe make the commercial so that we're not getting these guys that are coming in here beating it up the worst,
right.
making a profit off it, and then we're charging them next to nothing, which we are now.
Which we are.
I mean, if they're gonna make money on it, we should be able to get a cut of that.
Thank you very much.
I guess we gotta get a feel for what would be an appropriate fee for a particular hauler.
I would like to see a yearly fee for like our marine harvester people, you know, make it reasonable so they can still launch anytime they want, twice a day for both sides, and still be able to make a living. But still charge them something, so commercial haulers and any other hauler who wants to use a ramp can't say, well, you're not charging these guys, you know, yeah, we are. You know, that's just my,
Is that something that could go in online warrant? Is it one of those things?
I am not really sure.
Okay, fair enough. We'll find out. Done.
Just a suggestion on that, because you're new with this, the town is new with that. And everybody's grasping for what numbers are gonna work. I think it would be best to put the illness on the hauler himself, so that he pays per haul for the first year or two and see how it works out, see what kind of feedback he gets. And they have to register every time they have a boat come in, and they have to pay weekly or they pay monthly, something like that. You're not gonna have a toll booth there to collect them on every time.
No, but we're gonna have cameras, which is gonna help us out greatly.
Right, exactly.
But
But it's gonna have to be a relationship developed with these haulers to say, he's gonna make an appointment
Mhm.
and he's gonna call Callie, or he's gonna call somebody, or you can go on online moorings and make an appointment to make a launch or make a pickup. So there's a record of it somewhere. I mean, that's the type, that's thinking outside the box to make it happy for them and happy for us. And then review it after a year, see whether we're making money or not. And keep it competitive with other towns. So that we are getting not the premium dollar, but we're making enough so that we at least pay for the upkeep of the product.
Sure.
Just a suggestion.
Thank you, Don.
Yeah,
Okay. Yes, any other comments, guys? So it seems like that could be a project for the working group, or it could be a project for us, or a little both.
I think the working group and you guys would be working hand in hand.
What kind
So I'd
of
say it worked,
point, yeah.
but I don't,
It's extra people and extra perspectives and extra.
Does anyone know the haulers to be able to discuss it with them? I don't know.
I
all I
know
know is
CWC.
CWC.
No.
And that Mike Gillespie, he hauls.
Yeah,
Hey,
there's about 8 or 9 of them, really.
Does Mike haul?
Yeah. well,
Yeah, does he have a hauler?
Yeah,
Mike does?
he put boats in down there, yeah, because I ticketed his
I
truck,
didn't-
remember?
I didn't know he had one.
He cried when I
He's
got
got
the
one?
ticket.
A full-size commercial hauler.
I
don't
haven't
think
seen it,
it's-
but I heard that he's got one. And I don't know what size it is though. I know he's got some pretty good sized boats up there this
Oh,
year
yeah?
that he's never had before.
Well, I know someone's hauling. I didn't realize he would personally haul.
Where's this place?
The cameras will tell us next year.
Well,
You know
can't
where
we do
that
like
is?
a snapshot of
The
license
store.
plates?
You want hunt for
We don't
it?
know.
You don't know?
We don't know
All
anything
right,
about
I'll
it.
join you
Go
next time. Dwayne or Bob. Bob is the one that showed me.
I bet he's got a big trail. Up to a point, but I don't know. Right up
No,
to
no more.
Okay,
the-
all right, so, as we've got 5 minutes, we're not gonna leave.
The answer is yes, isn't it?
We Bluetooth to our phone, our radar sign,
back to
Yeah, but he
next
doesn't know that.
time.
say yes. Say yes, Callie.
Okay, so we'll meet again in 2 weeks, electric, for the pier vendors, have we received an end of season bill yet?
No, but I called,
Called up here?
yeah, I talked to Kathy, she's gonna do it once a year.
Okay. But it should be coming up, right?
Oh, yeah.
Because people are getting done.
Right, they tried to read it, somehow confusion about reading the meter. And I don't know, well, I mean, it's been on now since we started using power.
Yeah.
And
And we're still gonna have a meter on the ice cream bill.
no,
No, did that bill can get used much?
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if there's a separate
Yeah.
meter.
We have to, if we're billing, Main Street, we've got a biller.
Yeah.
So could you take care of some items right there, about the old ice cream thing down by the recreational field? There's something you could,
Getting a meter.
yeah, getting a
Some
meter
sort.
or something, because they just plug right into the power with no, use as much as they want.
What about water?
They've got water.
They have a water meter too?
I don't believe they are.
I think they're just
They go, they
tapped
just,
off of.
they tapped off the water line going to the,
So if they don't have a meter, they don't have a water, then that, we should just, one of your options would be to just increase their rent to
Yeah.
include water and electric.
I think that'd be the simple thing for right now, because we've got a lot of changes about.
but see, they've got a lot of draw on that system. They've got ice cream freezers, they've got ACs, they've got all the high item stuff. We need to put a meter on them, so we're getting
you
paid
know,
for what they use.
a meter will
You know?
tell you immediately what that is.
I mean.
So it might be an opportunity to make a little money.
I mean, say like the Boston people or the jelly guy, or they don't use a scrid of power versus those guys, you know, they just don't.
That's why we have our own power,
That's correct,
right?
that's right. And that's the correct way to do it.
Yeah, and that's why when it comes up from any other of anything that goes down there, we need to pin them right down exactly what I use.
What are you gonna use?
Yeah.
I'll make a microwave, AC,
3-ship welding.
that's right.
Right?
Do we know how successful that ice cream place was this year?
I never saw it open, but they must have been.
So what we've done in the past is we've had like an annual, like debrief, you know, how was your summer kind of meeting, and invited those people.
Daniel,
Yep, so I guess we could invite them next time. I know they were open sporadically.
Because I'm not down there, so I would see it, you know.
Yeah.
I've seen it down there a few times, but not a lot.
I couldn't tell from looking up where we are, whether it was open or not open, personally, but I don't know.
Yeah, they tried. I know they tried.
Yeah.
They opened a couple of times and everything.
Right.
So it was better than, no. Okay, I'll invite them for next time.
Yeah.
See
Good
what
idea.
turns up. That will be in a couple of weeks, okay? Okay, any other business? Ready? See nothing? We get a motion to adjourn? How do you do, Larry?
Do what?
How do you do?
Good, I'm sorry to let you know.
For dinner?
I said I'll be home at 6.
Oh,
Thank you. Your application's in here, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Tell them they get.
Eric Cosmo.
Thank you very much.
Very well.
This is important information.
My email.
At least I wait till I get home. All right, everybody have a good week.
Thanks.
Or week.
Please don't trip me off.
Definitely run my instructions
I gotta bend over.
What, fix your thing?
No, in time my shoe.
is, doesn't tell me how to get out of it.
Oh, just that.
What's that guy?
I'm sorry, what?
He's,
Dispatch got the point.
on the,
He was able to run that
right
right.
here.
Oh, good.
Oh, no, I'm just curious, I didn't
Um,
look at